And if you're beginning to realize that, yes, there was a veil of untruth on this world, we never saw it, but we're beginning to see it now. You may get a storm or 2 storms or 3 storms or multiple storms. And when that happens, ask for help from the other world. Have you ever felt like the world isn't quite as it seems? Like the world you grew up in seemed safe? Seemed, I just follow instructions, I just follow what I'm told, and everything's going to be okay. I'll just do what the teacher says or whatever. But suddenly, at some point, you realise, hey, I was lied to. That's not right. Now that doesn't fit with my reality. You start noticing your reality doesn't make sense to what you've been told. And you realise, no, actually it's upside down. Everything they told me is upside down. It's not even a lie. It's completely upside down. Then you start realising that it's not just this one thing. Everything is upside down. They're all lying. Everyone's lying. They're all lying. Whether that's the politicians or the news people, journalists, as we like to call them, or anyone with authority, so-called authority in society, they were all lying to me. Everything is wrong. I start realising, hey, everything's wrong. They told me I was powerless and I needed to follow instruction because I didn't know anything. And they knew everything. You realise later, they didn't know anything at all. They were as clueless as I was. And you begin to realise, hey, there's a voice inside me that understands, is smarter than all those authority people out there. There's a warrior spirit inside me that they try to disconnect me from. There's a Gaelic identity that's thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. They tried to hide from me. Did you ever realize that you're more powerful? You, when you're in the moment, are more powerful than any of those authority figures. Look at them. Look at them when they're being interviewed. They're blinking. They're constantly blinking like reptiles. Did you ever notice the blinkers? I've started to notice this. When they're being interviewed, look at them blinking. It's weird. They're frightened. They're following instructions. They're not connected with this thing. You are so much more powerful. They had to disconnect you from your power. They've done a bloody good job of it. You, if you're watching this, I know you're at some point of realising. You may be like, oh, this thing feels weird. This is not quite right. This thing they told me, it doesn't seem right. Or you may be one of these early voices that I've been listening to that have been ridiculed. I watch TV. I look at the internet. I read the papers. I see people being ridiculed. And people who can't walk down the street without being ridiculed. And then you start realising, hey, what these people were saying was actually right. They knew what they were talking about. Us people ridiculing, and I generally didn't ridicule, even though I didn't understand a lot of times what people were saying. I didn't know they were right, but I generally didn't ridicule. I wasn't in that camp. But just because I didn't ridicule doesn't mean that I didn't understand what they were saying. But you start to realise, yeah, they were right. They were so right. This world is messed up. They just saw it a bit early. I want to pay homage. I want to pay homage to the brave souls. Some are Gaelic, some aren't. The brave souls who stood up against the ridicule. Who've had incredibly negative things happen to them. They've stood strong. For me, being a warrior isn't about violence, isn't about, oh, look at me, I'm so strong with big muscles. Andrew Tate, what Andrew Tate stands for. No, for me, being a warrior is being able to stand strong in the storm. Being able to stand in the middle of the storm and still stand strong and stand with your principles and not change your mind and not apologize. That's what being a warrior is about. These people have done it. They've taken all the arrows. So we didn't have to. So I want to pay homage to those brave souls who have stood up, who've taken, maybe they were taking inspiration from the Triscla, but this is what the Triscla means. There's storms, there's tree storms everywhere, all around you, but you're standing strong in the centre of it. You're centred and strong in the middle of the storms. That's what the Triscla is talking about. That's what the Triscla means. Well, it means various, a lot of different things, but that's one of the things the Triscla means. So I want to say to those people, hey, I didn't know you were right, so I apologise. I didn't know you were right. But we all have our time of realising that there's a veil on this world of maybe gaslighting, maybe just untruth. And we all see it at different times. I'm sorry I didn't see it when you saw it. I'm sorry. But it just makes your bravery more important because I didn't see it. I also want to honour the people who like me begin to see, hey, this wasn't true and this wasn't true. Beginning to see things and starting to put things together. We weren't the first. We weren't the first. But we're starting to see things. We're starting to connect into our warrior spirit. We're starting to realise that we have a lineage for thousands of years. We're starting to realise that we're connected to this land. We're starting to realise, when I was in school, I got out of the Irish class because what's the point in this? This is not going to help me in life. I didn't realise that it was connected with my soul at the time. So there's a point of realising things, and we're not the first. But we're here now. We're here now and we can help. We're connected to Tír Hoga. We can change Ireland. We can help. We're here now. We weren't here when you were here. But we're beginning to realise that we're here now. And maybe you're in this group with me. Maybe you're one of the first. But wherever you are, welcome to your warrior spirit. And if you're beginning to realise that, yes, there was a veil of untruth on this world. We never saw it, but we're beginning to see it now. You may get a storm or 2 storms or 3 storms or multiple storms. And when that happens, ask for help from the other world. Ask for help from Tír Hoga. You have a connection. You have a connection that other people will never understand. You can change the world. But remember the Triscla, the storms, the 3 storms all around you. Multiple storms all around you. The world is messed up. You're not here to change the world. You're here to stand still in the middle of the storms and stand strong and be you. You do not need to change the world. You don't need to. Maybe there's crazy things happening thousands and thousands of miles away. You can't change it. You can't change it. But you can speak the truth. And you can be you. And you can stand strong in the middle of the storms. And you can focus on the positive. What you can change. You can focus on that. So remember the Triscla. And finally, we want to talk. I say the Milesians. The Milesians are just the Tuatha Dé Danann who have not connected in with their power yet, do not realize that they have that power. The Milesians, they're going to react to what's in the news, what's on the internet. They're not going to create, but they just don't realize. They just don't realize their power. And some of us have realized that power for a long, long time. Not me. I'm not in that group. But many people have. And some are beginning to connect in with that power now. And some will never. Some will always be Milesian and be like, oh, did you hear about this terrible thing that happened in the news? Did you hear about this terrible thing that happened 1,000 miles away? It's terrible. Some people will never realize their power. And we've just got to send love to those people too. And maybe they will be angry. Maybe they'll attack you. Maybe they'll call you names. The Milesians. We just need to send love to those people too. And if they ever begin to see the veil of lies, we need to welcome them in. But you are connecting in with your power. You're connecting in with your Tuatha Dé Danann power. You're connecting in with the great Tirna Oga. You're connecting in with the goddess. You are feeling your power rising. And it's people like you that are going to change the world. And I'm excited to watch you do it.